What I do to feed my creativity changes almost all the time. Taking a break helps. I mean, creatives who work nonstop, like you just get drained. So taking a break, suddenly you're like, wow, geez, so many great ideas. Television, books, movies, all the things you kind of don't have time for when you're working. You know, you just start consuming entertainment again and good stories again. So I started day drinking with authors at the very beginning of the pandemic. I had a book out and I couldn't travel to promote, and I had dozens of friends in the exact same boat. So it just seemed like a really, I mean, it was also at the part of pandemic where we were all probably drinking a little too much. I would pick the book, the author would pick a drink, I'd read the book, and then I'd ask them a bunch of questions while we slowly got tipsy. It was such a hit, I think, because there was such an appetite on social media again for events that were online. And it's continued to grow. I've moved it in, it's still a Facebook Live event, but I've moved it into a podcast. And I think people like to hear their favorite authors get a little drunk or tell stories that they normally wouldn't tell. I think it helps that I'm an author too, so I ask, writers love to talk about craft and you know, how they get the job done, and I get to ask those kinds of questions. And it has been a delight. It has been such a delight to read other authors that I normally wouldn't read. I focus primarily on women authors, which is something that just happened, but now I feel really passionate about it. You know, particularly romance, who often doesn't get, you know, a seat at the table for, you know, discussing their books in a wider arena. So the podcast is Day Drinking with Authors, and you can find it on Apple and Spotify and Stitcher and Pickle and wherever you find your podcasts. Well, I just finished The Sunshine Girls, just finished edits on that. And I'm just finishing the Christmas book, which is another great thing about independent publishing, is that the timeline, I mean, that book comes out in like 2 months and I'm still working on it. That's madness. So in my upcoming Christmas story, Very Merry Married, a father who runs the Kringle Family Inn and Christmas farm has fallen and broken his leg, and his children have to come home and save the family farm. And my hero, Ethan, accidentally married a Vegas showgirl the year before. So he's got to figure out if he loves her or is going to get a divorce and save a Christmas tree farm. So next year, November 2022, The Sunshine Girls comes out under my name, Molly Fader. And it's about two estranged sisters who are burying their mother in a small Iowa town. And it's the kind of town where you know everybody. And their mother was like a big deal in the town. And into this funeral and this very estranged relationship walks Kitty Devereaux, who's the star of stage and screen, legendary beauty, Bond girl. And she walks in and they're like, Kitty Devereaux, you've taken a wrong turn. How could you possibly be here? And she's like, yeah, you think you know your mom, but you don't know your mom. So it goes back and forth between like Vietnam, we've got Hollywood. It's a big sweeping saga, lots of family secrets. It's pretty exciting. So what's amazing about The Sunshine Girls is that the inspiration for the book, this is so funny. A lot of the story is from my mom, and that sort of, she was a nursing student in Iowa, and the story sort of starts in Iowa, but being alive in that time, and we all know that like historical fiction, you know, there used to be a time where you wouldn't even read about World War II, and now it's all World War II, and now historical fiction's kind of creeping up. So, you know, the Vietnam War, the civil rights, women's lib, telling those stories. And then also like the really interesting world that was nursing school in late 1960s. Like, it was super misogynistic, it was very patriarchal, but these women went on to do these amazing things. So it's an exciting time and a really exciting book. Inspired by my mom. And then after that, I'm taking a break. I will say that I'm taking a break. You know, COVID was hard on everybody, and I wrote right through it. And without a break, there was never a reason to stop. So I'm gonna clean out some closets, you know, say hello to my children, nap, read some other books.